What's up, guys? This is the Mackem Titanic Fanatic. This is the first official video on this channel. And what I was going to do for the first one was I want basically any like younguns out there who are getting into Titanic for the first time, and any kids out there and stuff like that. And while I am gonna have an introductory an introduction into the ship, into Titanic, in my own words, I just wanted to start off by providing you with another source out there that really helped me. When I was a kid and first getting into Titanic, and it's in the form of a book, because there's many different formats and platforms and sources that can give you all sorts of information on information on the topic. But let us tell you something. This book to me is something special, because I wouldn't have the level of interest I do now in Titanic if it weren't for this book right there. And what it is this. Let's just turn it around first for you. As you can see there, this is the Titanic book by World of Discovery. This is a book that really helped me out when I was first getting into Titanic, and like I said, I don't think I'd have the level of interest I do in it now if it wasn't for this book. And basically, this book is fucking awesome. This shit is fucking cool, because it gives beginners an insight into what the Titanic was, what happened when she sank, who she was built by, all the first steps into building an interest. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through the book page by page. I'm going to try not to leave it too long, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the book page by page, and yeah, just gonna have a quick run through the book page by page, and I'll show you what the book says. So let's get on with that. Okay, so if I just put the book somewhere where you can see it. Like, as you can see, I've currently got the book on my bed here. There. Titanic 1912. All you ever wanted to know. And there you got a few pictures of the ship there, as you can see there. That was one of that's a picture of the ship there. That's the iceberg that sank it. That's a picture of these two are pictures from the film during the scene where the ship's collided with the iceberg, it's sinking, and the lowering the lifeboats into the Atlantic Ocean. That's an old photograph of survivors of the sinking in the lifeboats, because there was more to just surviving than surviving the sinking. There was obviously the obviously, like there was the temperature of the ocean. If you survived the sinking but you didn't make it to a lifeboat, you had to deal with the temperatures with the temperature of the water, and it was extremely cold, really fucking cold. That's a picture of the Carpathia, the ship that picked up the Titanic's survivors and got them to New York safely. And this book goes quite in depth. Even if you're just starting out with an interest, this book does go quite in depth. There's different facts in that. That's a scale model of the ship, which I believe was a scale mod. It's either the wreck or the scale model they used in the film. I can't really tell. That is a picture of the bow. As you can see, I think judging by the picture quality, the picture was taken about judging by the quality, I would say late 90s, potentially used in the film. Which could have been the bow from the film. That's inside the wreck. Nah, I cannot quite make out what that is, but I know it's definitely like within the wreck. Yeah, that's some of the pictures. Now you can see that's a shot from the film. For those of you who haven't seen the film, but come on, fucking face it. Every fuckers saying James Cameron's Titanic. It's a known fact. Contents page there. No. There you go. This is the start of this. This is the start. This page. These pages tell you what Titanic was, and as you progress further through the book, you get more beginners info. So this is what was Titanic on the first two pages. This was crossing the oceans. And it gives you a brief history on how crossing oceans was possible, and stuff like that. And as you can see, it gives you some different facts there. Got a diary there, another picture of the ship. World's biggest ship, telling you stuff, everything you need to know about the size of, about Titanic size, everything like that. You can see Titanic side by side with our sister ship, the Olympic, and it tells you a lot about Titanic and Olympic together, stuff like that, on these two pages. Now this talks about the construction of Titanic. And it's a bit of a known fact that even today working on shipyards can be a fucking dangerous job. That shit is fucking wow. But if you thought it's bad now, just imagine back then, when back then they didn't have everything way up now, and they had to basically like climbing the scaffolding. They were risking things getting dropped on them, and it was a big job, you know. This tells you about the day of the launch. There's a picture of it there without its funnels. It tells you a lot about the launch there, because it did have a launch there prior to, well, as you can see, it's got the launch there, May 31st, 1911, and there's a picture of the ticket. There's a picture of a, well, I saw a ticket. It's a picture of a invitation of the launch of the initial launch of the Titanic. On Wednesday, the 31st of May, 1911 at 12:15 p.m. And it tells you a lot about the launch there and stuff like that. As we move on, this page talks about the engines, and how powerful the engines were, stuff like that. There's a picture of some of the some of the workers in what would be the engine room of the ship. And then as we move on even further, talks about the inside of the Titanic, tells you everything that within the ship to power it. Good stuff on there. A picture of an old-fashioned chair, and a picture. There's a bit of a diagram really on what was inside the ship. As you can see, you got like the dining hall there. You've got the first class decks there, the first class dining hall there. And as you go further down, you get into the second class section, and then you get into the bottom of the ship, and that's basically the third, and around there is where the third class cabins, and that's the third class deck there. That's where the third class cabins are, and that's basically the whole structure of the ship. So now talks about inside Titanic. There's a bit of slightly different decks and that on this page. So I'll move on. Getting ready for sea. This was after the initial launch in May of 1911. That just tells you a bit about the preparations they had to go through for getting it to sea, and this is why we're starting to getting towards the end of the construction period, because that shit was hard. It took four fucking years to build the ship. Largest ship in the world at the time, you know, as well. That just tells you how it was like a floating hotel. It says that. This goes into a bit of insight on the luxury of Titanic. Well, because luxury of the ship, because the same money fades, or because money fades the appetite of the rich, and this was no fucking exception. There is to tell you that. Once again, this page goes into depth on the luxury side of things, how luxurious it was. There you can see that the start of April talks about the ship's sea trials at the start of September. No, sorry, April 1912. This is where the ship's construction was finished. When the construction of the ship had concluded, and they were sending her out on trials to make she was completely seaworthy. This is around about the time when the trials had concluded, and the crew started boarding. So these two pages go into a bit of depth on that. And here we are, April 10th, 1912. This is when Titanic first set sail. Tells you a bit about that and who was who, and it gives you some very important and like, basically prominent people who were on board the ship at the time. That was Jacobber. Astor, he had a lot to do with the ship. London fashion designer. Lady Lucy Duff Gordon. And well, that's that. That's a boarding pass for the ship, issued by White Star Line. Let's give you some facts about who was who, and we're basically getting into the whole part of the ship departing from Southampton and heading out into the Atlantic Ocean. The maiden voyage. And now this is just gonna. The next set of pages are just gonna go through the next Titanic's whole voyage. This is talking about when she left Southampton and everything. That's another image from the film. Apologise for that, guys. I got a phone call. But like I was saying, on this next, like I was saying, that is a picture from the film. Of the ship sailing making steady progress across the North Atlantic. You've got a picture there. Let's get like where so you can see the picture clearly. So this is the first day of Titanic's voyage. Another picture from the film. This time a picture of Kate Winslet. In a outfit as Rose DeWitt Bacata. In the outfit you first see Rose in the film, and you got a real life painting of actual passengers, sort of rail first class passengers socialising on the ship. Very interesting. And here's the iceberg section. Show you the pictures on a and this was about the time when Titanic started getting warnings from other vessels on the North Atlantic about icebergs. While ignored. Thought I should just mention that. I'll go into more depth on that and other stuff and other shit in a different, in a separate video, yeah. And this will be in April 14th, 1912 will be the final day Titanic would sail. If you have a look there. That was a menu from the first class dining rooms. That was some of the china, and that was some of the finery such as plates, dishes, bowls that were used by the first class passengers in the first class dining halls. Yeah, got a picture of some of the crew there. Well, I am master. Then you've got Light Hollow over there. A picture of the ship. So I say more like a painting of the ship on the night it sank. Oh, this is Jack Phillips. He was the one who received the warnings of icebergs from other vessels, but because they were ignored, the ship collided with the iceberg, and well, if you know, you fucking know. That's a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet playing Jack Dawson and Rose DeWitt Piquet in the film in the scene where the first class dining halls all dine on the grand staircase sliding into the first class dining halls, being flooded with water as the ship sinks, and they're trying to escape. Yeah. And once again, that's a picture of that's a picture taken obviously back in 1912 of survivors of the sinking in a lifeboat, and that's a picture, that's a shot, that's a picture from the film while the ship's sinking and they're having to, and they're lowering the lifeboats filled with passengers. There you can see lifeboat there, and then you can see all the other people on board the ship there. Well, not part of the ship anyway. And that's a picture of the car pair there, the one that rescued the survivors of Titanic's sinking and got them in New York safely. And that's a picture of one of the radio operators. More on the sinking. A lot of what's coming up next in the book is just essentially about the sinking, some of the stories from survivors. It's a pretty interesting book to read. And it talks about what went wrong. The lessons learned from the sinking of the Titanic, so future vessels could avoid the same fate. Titanic found. These are pictures taken in, I believe the date was September 1st, 1985. When Robert Ballard and his crew discovered the ship using remote cameras that could be controlled from where Ballard and his crew was stationed on the surface. And this is the shot. And this is the shot that got of the bow. And this is it says it right there. This is Captain Edward's bathroom. It's Captain Smith's bathroom. Now the picture of the front of the bow from when Ballard and his crew found the ship using the remote cameras. And there's a lot of, and there's actually been quite a few films out of about the Titanic. This one was A Night to Remember, released in 1958, I believe. It says it right there. And I've seen the film. It's a great film. And that's a picture of a monument in dedication to the Titanic. And then you just get the index there. So and yeah, that's it. That's the book. That's the whole book. So yeah, if you're just starting to get into the Titanic, look this book up online. Try and get your hands on a copy, because it really is an excellent book. Like I said, this was a great fucking help for me when I first got into Titanic. Like I said, this shit right here is fucking awesome. It this is, it's a great source. Taking your first film, you take your first steps into the world of Titanic, which also is, once you're in, you cannot fucking get out. You can't get out for shit. I would warn you. That's how engrossing Titanic is, because there's so much to learn about it. You know, there's actually still a lot of mystery about the ship that haven't got answers yet. So yeah, that was that. Like I said, I hope to go into a bit more depth about what Titanic was, what happened, and loads of other stuff about the ship in future videos. Like I said, that book is of great help if you're taking your first steps into the world of Titanic. Parents, if your kids are just starting to get into Titanic, buy the book for them. Look it up on Google, Amazon, eBay, wherever you can get your hands on it online. And I say online, I'm not mentioning the store because of well, know what's happening right now with quarantine and this fucking coronavirus. So that's why I'm just mentioning online. So if you can go online, see if you can get the book. It's simply called Titanic. It's in the books by World of Discovery. In fact, I'll give you one last look at the front of the book so you know. I'll put a picture up at the end if you need another look. But Titanic from World of Discovery, it's a great thing if your kids are getting into Titanic for the first time. It'll really help them. Like I said, it really helped me when I was first getting into Titanic. And yes, it's a great book overall. Hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Like, comment and subscribe. Is one I will be doing future videos where I'll go into in depth. Give you a proper introduction into the world of Titanic in my own words. And yeah, says it a bit. Like I say, great fucking book. If you can get your hands on one, don't fucking piss around and not get it. This book is a great help. And yeah, that's it. Catch you in a bit.